So, what's the plan?
I wish my hair would do that. But we all want what we don't have.
Howard, how are you doing?
Oh, hi Jill, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Najarra.
Hi, Najarra, how are you doing?
I am logged into my husband's Zoom. I'm so sorry.
I guess we all want what we don't have.
This is a perfect film for festivals, and it has been to festivals, but it's all been a bit of a bummer because you've had to do it all virtually, no? That must have been when you found out it was going to be going to festivals, but virtually, it must have been a bit of a downer for you both, no?
Yeah, definitely.
It's been something we've been talking about since long before we knew for sure. I was kind of trying to prepare myself and everyone like mentally and emotionally for that reality. I was like, once this kind of hit in March and we were editing the movie, I was like, we should be prepared for like festivals not happening this year.
I want to talk a little about the genesis of the whole film, because I know it was a short film previously, but obviously you've done various short films. What was it about this one that just made it ripe for a feature film?
Well, this one was just, that was always the hope that we would be able to turn it into that. Always wanted to explore Claire more with Najarra. It's just when we made the short, it was the only the second thing I ever directed. So I knew I needed more experience before I tried to make a feature. And then we made more shorts together. We tried to get it made for a long time and finally did a Kickstarter last year and did it ourselves.
And would you say that, I mean, I think you were, for about 10 years, you were a hairstylist or a stylist yourself now. Did that play a lot into the reason why you really wanted to get this out as a passion project?
Yeah, I'm actually still a hairstylist.
You're still there? Okay.
Yeah, and some clients get scared when I tell them what the movie is about. The non-horror fans are like, what's your movie about? A hairstylist that kills people, and they'll be the only person in the salon at the time, and they're like, So
I really love the idea that it is a lot about. I think it's the same all around the world. The hairstylist is someone that everyone confides in, even though they're a lot of the time they're complete strangers. They just see you once a month or once every blue moon. Was that something that you wanted to hone in on as well? This fact that you are people that people are willing to share their whole lives with, but not have them as a friend, not accept them as a friend.
Yeah, I wanted to bring a lot of that real part of being a hairstylist into the film, and how much people trust you, and kind of that weird intimacy that is there, even though there is that layer of not knowing the people they're talking about. That's a lot of the reason I wanted to make it. I wanted like hairstylists to see it and know that like a hairstylist must have made this because this has so many real things in it.
So Najarra, how did you prepare for the character? Because also congratulations also because you won the Best Actress at Fright Fest as well now for this role.
Thanks.
And it is a brilliant role because I love the way that it's portrayed, because you are so many different things at the same time. She's constrained. She's got some kind of social anxiety at the same time, remorseful. She's struggling with her illness. But when she actually comes to these deathly acts, she has no remorse whatsoever. That must have been a really difficult tightrope walk. Now, how did you approach that yourself? And I imagine Jill gave you a lot of tips because of her profession as a hairstylist, no? Not as a killer, as a hairstylist.
We had like hair, like just as far as like the hairdresser part of it went, we had like hairdresser training a little bit, and like I had like a hair doll where I would like do her hair. So I did do a tiny bit of hair training, and obviously any questions I had the perfect, like Jill's hairstylist director like knows Claire in and out, so that was fantastic. But as far as developing her as a character, it started when we did the short years ago, obviously, and then when we came back around to the feature, it was convenient to be able to go back and like look at old notes and take pieces of who she was make her just like a fuller character. And some things had changed living with a character that long, like the way I felt about her. I think the way like Jill even felt about her, like she had just grown so much. So I kind of approach most characters the same way. I like to create a life for them. I want to create a full backstory. I want to create memories. I want to know what their relationships were like in their life. So I was the same for Claire. And Jill and I talked about her backstory a lot, and I journaled a lot as Claire, and like trying to just fill her life up as much as possible, and to the best of my ability, know why she did what she did, why she does what she does.
Uh-huh. So obviously, there's been a lot of comparisons to films like Maniac, which was, I mean, obviously you must have been heavily inspired by films like that. It also reminded me a little bit of May, Lucky Mickey's May. But not going back to Maniac, obviously those comparisons are always going to be there. So I imagine you were always second guessing yourself and trying to make something that would never be exactly the same, which you've succeeded in doing. But how did you go about that to make sure that it was similar, but everyone would not say it's just a rehash of Maniac, for example?
Well, what's strange is growing up, I didn't see Maniac. So I didn't see Maniac till I was an adult. So she kind of more started as a Leatherface inspiration.
All right.
But when I started to develop the structure of the story, I looked to Maniac, and I'm hugely influenced by May. I've got a May picture right there. But I look to May and Maniac a lot because there's not a lot of horror films that are told from the bad person's perspective. Yeah. So I look to a lot of thrillers, in fact, because there's not a lot of horror movies like that. And but May and Maniac both flash back to the childhood to kind of fill it in, and that's something I never wanted to do, but even attempted to do with one draft. So I wanted it to feel different than something like Maniac because I didn't want it to be like a slasher. We don't kill nearly as many people. I wanted it to feel a little more grounded, even though what I do love about Maniac is he is like super emotional, and you kind of weirdly sympathize with him. Right. But I knew that comparison will always be there because of the scalpings. But that just kind of felt natural to it, like a hairstyle. She's going to take people's hair.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned that the empathy it's strange. I can't put my finger exactly on why, but we do feel a certain amount of empathy for this person.
Yeah, we wanted people to feel, I think, just conflicted about it, because not that this justifies anything that she does, but that you just kind of understand that not necessarily why she's doing it, but that she's just really damaged, and that's why I'm interested in anti-hero type stories, because you get to know the bad guy versus presenting them as one-dimensional. Like most slashers are told from the victim's point of view, and it's just a emotionless killer killing people, and we know nothing about them.
Claire, this is amazing. Can't wait to see this with the dress.
Oh, neither can I.
I mean, something that just makes it very different to Maniac is the fact that one review I was reading called it incredibly femme. Incredibly femme.
It really just happened naturally. I never saw Claire as someone who killed men. So it really, like in hindsight, when we were breaking down the script character-wise and starting to think about cast, is when I really realized, wow, there's not even like a male lead. It was not something like we set out to do, like, we're going to make a female movie only. I feel like it just happened naturally with the story we're trying to tell. And I feel like what Claire's life is full of. But a lot of reactions to it have made me think, like, what did I not realize I was thinking when we made this movie? Yeah. Lots of like interpretations have like really opened my mind to what's going on in my mind that I don't realize.
We're talking about what kind of things of the audience, what kind of audience feedback have you received that you really didn't expect aside from that?
There's been a lot of, which I think is like crazy honor, or it's like an honor, but I've noticed a lot of the LGBTQ community is connecting to her in a way I never knew. And I thought, like, I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now, but one specific review just like blew me away.
It's definitely just like fascinating reading people's interpretations of Claire and why, like, and who she is. And it made, like, there were things I had thought about like a little bit along the way that I never like really dove into. And then I would read these things in like certain reviews, and I was like, I see how easily that could have been my choice. Like the fact that it wasn't, and people don't know that is fine. That's great. That's what the interpretation is all about. Like, that's fantastic. But yeah, it's just fascinating. That's the best part about doing film is hearing
the reactions that you don't expect, huh?
Yeah, hearing reactions and hearing what people take from it, and having them think about it, like having it live with them after the fact and want to talk about it, like that. That's why you want to make a movie.
The film itself, it looks like $1 million, but also the bloodletting is really, really, really well done. Najarra must have been great working with all that blood and scalps and scissors and.
It's always very fun. It's also always terrifying because, especially on a like lower budget thing, you have like one chance to do stuff. Yeah. So it's like, gotta get it right. Sometimes the little mistakes are work out also, which is a thing that happens. So that's lucky. But yeah, our special effects team was amazing, and they're the same people from the short. So obviously the short went really well. So we brought them on.
I got some scalps right here behind me from the movie.
Oh, those are from the movie then.
Yeah. Practical effects are scary because, like Najarra said, you don't know what's going to happen until you do it on camera, really. And you prepare for like a second time, especially something like a scalping is not just like wipe the blood off and redo it. It's like a 5-hour setup of layers of stuff on someone's head. So while we're always prepared for another one, we would never have time to do it. Like, I don't even know why we prepare a second one, honestly. But the scalping went like flawless on the short film when Najarra pulled it off, that we were all extra scared for the feature, and it was not as smooth, but it all turned out freaking disgusting and nasty like I hoped.
Tell me about you, Claire.
I do hair. You get to go in and out of people's lives. You hear stories.
The hairstylist. She's creepy. Does Liv actually know her?
You give life advice.
I guess we all want what we don't have.
What do you think about in terms of the future? I know that, Najarra, you've got plenty of things on IMDb that I've seen coming soon. And Jill, what ideas have you got for your next project?
Oh my. Well, I have an idea I've been working on for a long time that I'm feeling finally like I have the space in my brain creatively to think about another character. Like, Claire has like dominated my head for like 5 years. I don't know how writers that like just jump back and forth between projects all the time. That is very exhausting, and I don't understand how people do that. It's not me. I don't know if I really want to talk about specific ideas, but I'm hoping.
Do you think you'd go back to do a short first, or do you want to jump into a feature film again?
I'd love to make another feature, but I'd also love to do some more music videos. I love to do those, and it's been a while. But I've got another feature I'm attached to that we're trying to get off the ground fast. That was written by the team that wrote Porno that Fangoria put out last year.
And I'm attached to a couple things that are hopefully shooting next year. But that's also, you just don't, everything seems a little questionable right now.
Listen, thank you both for your time. I really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck with the film when it comes out. And I hope to speak to you again sometime in the future.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
What did you do?
Ah!